These are the most common autism myth and the facts about these things. So let's debunk some of these things. The first myth is people with autism, they lack empathy and they can't form relationships. The fact is that many autistic individuals, they form deep connections but may express empathy differently. So the way that they express empathy might look different than how a typical person might express it. For example, let's take Lean, for example, an 8-year-old autistic girl who doesn't always say I'm sorry, but when her classmate falls, she quietly brings him a tissue and sits beside him without speaking. So her empathy is shown through actions, not through words. I also recently saw a video on social media of a 40-year-old autistic boy who's nonverbal, and he has a baby brother who's around 2 years old or maybe less, and he was covering his ears because he didn't want the baby to cry while around him, and he was circling around him, uh, as an anticipation that he's going to do something. And eventually, he came to him and he kissed him uh, on the back of his head 2 times, and he sat next to him. So that's his way of showing empathy rather than with words. And the second myth is that autism is caused by parenting or by vaccines. So we will talk about these two separate things, which is by parenting. It used to be believed that, I think back in the 40s or the 70s, that it was the cold mother, it was called the refrigerator mother, that caused autism. That means the mother didn't care about the child, didn't love the child, didn't show any affection towards the child. Um, that what was believed that caused autism. That is completely not true. There is no parenting style that could cause autism. Nothing. So autism has genetic and neurological origins. It has nothing to do with the parenting style. All right. So now with vaccines, a lot of medical research and the scientific literature also they found and they did extensive research on vaccines, if they are harmful or if they cause autism. And if you follow the recent news, you will see that uh, JF Kennedy was appointed to find out if vaccines are what are causing autism. That is a debateful topic. Some people they have strong beliefs that vaccines are the cause. Other people they don't. I personally know parents who did not vaccinate their children because of that reason, and yet they received the autism diagnosis. And there's a lot of online comments from parents saying that I did not vaccinate my child, but they also uh, received the diagnosis. Some of them, they also mentioned that um, they did the vaccine and there was nothing. So it's not the vaccine in itself that is causing the autism. They believe, or it is believed, that there are some predisposition genes or factors that the vaccine triggers the autism when it's injected in the body. So it's not that the vaccine in itself causes autism, because if it does, then every person who takes that vaccine should develop or have autism. But that's not the truth. The truth is that some people they develop it, some people they don't, or some people they have it, some people they don't. So we cannot assume that vaccines are the only cause. But if the person is uh, has the genes, has the predisposition, they are more susceptible to having the factors and the genes, then the vaccine would push it, or they would surface the condition. The third myth is that autism can be cured. Many claims online, many claims from unreliable people says that we have been able to cure our kids' autism or reverse our kids' autism. The fact is that autism is a lifelong condition, but with support and intervention, individuals can improve skills and quality of life, but it's not something to be cured. Also, there are different groups of people that they have different opinions. One group says that we don't want to cure it, and mostly these are coming from kids who have, or families who have kids on the higher cognitive ability. They don't have any major challenges. They don't have um, speech delay, or they don't have severe intellectual disability. They are saying that we don't want to cure it. On the other hand, which is the majority of families, they want to cure it because it is very tiring and it takes a toll on the family when they are supporting a child with a severe autism or moderate to severe. Let's take Ahmed again. Ahmed, for example, now he's 12. He used to be completely nonverbal and highly rigid. But after years of ABA therapy, speech therapy, other evidence-based therapies, which we will be discussing later, he now uses an AAC device to communicate and independently manages parts of his school routine. He has made tremendous progress, but autism is still part of who he is. So we're not looking to fix a person. We are looking to help the person with what they are going through. Another example, Amina, for example, she had significant speech delays and screen overexposure. After screen restriction and structural therapy, she caught up developmentally. She may have had a misdiagnosis of autism or presented with autistic-like behaviors that were resolved. So when we say that we cured autism, or parents said that we cured our kids' autism, that means from the beginning it wasn't the right diagnosis, because you cannot overcome or overgrow autism diagnosis or the condition in itself. You can't say, I tried this thing and then now my kid doesn't have autism anymore. That doesn't exist. That means from the start, the diagnosis of autism or the autistic-like features or characteristics, they have not been properly seen or diagnosed. So they said it's autism, but it turned out not to be autism. And it's very important to know that, because there's a lot of misconception and misinformation about this, because people and parents can fall into trap of let's call them unreliable people who might prey on these parents, and they would use them financially to claim. We will talk about that. Okay. Now, the next one is all individuals with autism, they have intellectual disability. The autism exists across all intellectual levels. That's why there are levels when we are diagnosing autism, which we also will talk more in details. So we have level 1, level 2, level 3. But when it comes to the percentage of intellectual disability, the CDC published in 2023 that about 37% of children with autism, they also have a co-occurring intellectual disability. That means an IQ below 70. And another 24% are in the borderline range. That means their IQ is between 71 and 85. And the rest, they have average or above average IQ. So the rest of these people, they have average or above average. Let's take Maya, for example. She's 10 and she's on the autism spectrum. She struggles with social interaction but reads at a high school level and solves advanced math problems. She has high cognitive abilities even though she needs support socially. I recently worked and met with a teenager who is 16 years old. She was diagnosed with autism. She goes to school. She's bright. She's doing well academically, but socially she is struggling. She's not able to make friends. She doesn't know how to make friends. She doesn't know what to talk when she meets a new person, or when she starts in a new school. She doesn't know how to behave and how to make friends. She doesn't do this back and forth social reciprocity. She's only self-centered, and she only talks about what she likes, and what are her interests. We will also talk more about that in the next few slides. The next one is that autism always comes with a savant skill. That means the person is very smart, like the Rain Man movie, if you saw that, or like Einstein, Albert Einstein, for example. He was diagnosed with Asperger syndrome that is now under the autism spectrum disorder umbrella. And there's a lot of social media videos from people and professionals claiming or telling other people that kids with autism, they do have a superpower, but you need to find out what is that superpower. That is completely misleading, and it's not true. Only a small percentage have that ability, have that smartness, that superpower of like calculating, doing math, um, physics, engineering, like Elon Musk, for example. So there's a kid in New York. He was able to draw the whole city of Manhattan only by flying one time in a helicopter, and he came back and he started painting. Those are very rare cases. John, for example, is 6 years old. He has autism, but no exceptional talents. He's learning basic daily living skills and how to follow routines. So he doesn't know how to hold a fork. He doesn't know how to eat himself by himself. He doesn't know how to get dressed. He doesn't know how to fold his clothes. He doesn't know how to make his bed. He doesn't know how to wash his hands. Okay, so he doesn't have a special genius ability, and that's the majority of the kids diagnosed with autism. Even though he doesn't have a special genius ability, he's still making steady progress through his training, through his therapy, through his support that he's receiving from his families and from his surroundings. Okay. Now, the next one is autism is caused by certain foods or diets. This is where it becomes very, very, very important and misleading. The fact is that there is no scientific evidence that food causes a certain condition or causes autism. I know that a lot of parents and a lot of people, they believe in the power of nutrition. I do too. But I don't believe that it can cure autism, that it can improve significantly and magically the symptoms or the characteristics of autism. It doesn't work that way. Yes, the majority of kids or the majority of individuals with autism, they do have some certain food or diet that they prefer to follow, but that is not used as a treatment, or it's not the cause of their condition. So I know many families that I worked with and that I work with currently, they are on some type of diets, which we will talk about in the supplement and the diet in the next slide. Let's take Jana's parents, for example. They were told to eliminate gluten and casein from the diet to fix her autism. After testing and consultation, they learned her behaviors were unrelated to diet. Okay, so diet is not going to fix. The key word here is fixing. We don't want to fix something. We don't want to fix a person. We don't want to fix a condition. We want to improve a certain condition. We want to have the person be happy, be relaxed, uh, open the ability for that person to learn. That's what we're looking for. If we do it with food, then that's great. If there are some certain food like sugar, like processed food, that is blocking the person from paying attention, from being present in the moment, from being more focused, more awake, then we will go for these dietary suggestions. But but some behaviors are not related to diet, right? But diet adjustments, they helped or can help manage, for example, constipation, but not autism. It can help with sleep, for example. If the kid eats chocolate and sugar before sleep, of course he's going to have disruptive sleep. So we're not against food and diets. It's just we are against using them as a cure or as a treatment to only treat autism characteristics rather than using other evidence-based practices. So anybody that claims to you that they have some special diet, they follow some rigid or strict protocol, or this is coming from a different country or from a neurological doctor, don't believe in that because that's very misleading. I know, like I said, it's been more than a decade I'm into this field, and I have seen a lot of parents who they did follow these rigid diets. They did do all these type of recommendations. They did see progress, but not as they were promised. This is what I want you to understand, is that anybody will benefit from adjusting their diet, adjusting their food. You reduce your processed food, you reduce the processed food, you reduce the sugar, you reduce the additives, you reduce all these harmful things. You will feel better. I will feel better. But it's not as a cure. It's not to manage behaviors of autism. It's not to teach the person a certain skill that they don't have. I can't say to someone, if you eat this food, you will become a tennis player or you will become a tennis champion. I'm not going to be able to be a tennis player unless I actually play tennis and I actually do some sessions with a coach that will teach me the strategies, will teach me how to think on the field, how to look at the ball, the coordination of my hand and my eyes, the strength of hitting the ball, where the ball is going to go. These things cannot be taught from nutrition. Same thing with behavior, with skills, with daily living skills, and other important uh, domains. The next myth is that supplements and vitamins can replace therapy. I've seen a lot of parents who they strongly believe that being on a high dosage of vitamins and supplements can help or cure their child. Again, this is not evidence-based, and nutritional support is not the cure. It may help for overall health, yes. So I am deficient in vitamin D, I take vitamin D. I am deficient in omega-3, I take omega-3. Now, kids with autism, because of their restrictive or restricted food, they don't eat everything. They have nutrition deficiency. So Giving them nutrients or supplements or vitamins is helpful, but it is not a standalone treatment to follow and say only with vitamins and with supplements I will manage my child autism or my child condition. And they cannot replace evidence-based interventions like ABA, speech, or occupational therapy. And this is the most dangerous statement and claim that social media is now giving to parents and vulnerable parents and parents who don't know the reality, or let's say they want quick fix, they want hope, claiming that oil, some certain type of oils or herbs or other natural remedies can cure autism or can make the characteristics of autism better. And all of this is not supported by scientific evidence at all. So it depends on the culture you're coming from, depending on what you believe in. There are a lot of fraud people on the internet claiming that if you use a certain product, some certain mix of things, like for example in Arabic it's called sabghat al-sadr or al-sadr. These are all beliefs that are not supported by evidence, and if that's your belief and you want to go for it and you want to try it, try it. But it's not the only way to do that. If you're doing it alongside with other evidence-based practices, it's up to you. But you will not know from where the progress is coming from. When you start mixing evidence-based strategies with non-evidence-based strategies, you will not know which one is going to work. And you're most likely going to give the credit for the progress for these non-evidence-based practices because they are easier than therapy. They are easier to access. They are less affordable than therapy. So you will say that this mixture, this oil, this herb, this natural remedy is the one that gave the progress after I start using it. But in reality, there is no way for you to find out because you are mixing two things. Just like when I have a headache, I take a pill for all my body. How I will know which pill is going to fix my headache or it's going to go for my digestion. So if I have a headache and I take a pill for digestion, it's not going to help my headache. The headache is not going to go away. But if I take pill for a headache, pill for digestion, and pill for this one, and pill for this, how I will know which one is working for my headache? That's why there is research. That's why it's called scientific research and evidence-based research, because they isolate each condition, each supplement, or each study. It's under control. They track everything. They know exactly what they want to study and what they want to find out, and they limit a lot of variables that could affect the outcome and the intervention. The next one is all autistic individuals, they have GI problems. Gastrointestinal issues, they are more common in autistic individuals, yes, like constipation, reflux, but not everyone with autism has these issues. And there's a lot of people talking about, and science talking about the gut-brain axes. I'm not going to go in details about this because it's going to go beyond the purpose of this presentation. Probably in the longer version of this course, we will discuss more in details about these things. So while more common in autism, not every autistic individual has digestive issues. Tala, for example, she's 5 years old, she's autistic, and has no GI complaints. She doesn't complain from constipation. She doesn't complain from reflux. She doesn't complain from heartburns or whatever. She eats a wide variety of foods and she digests well, showing that not all autistic learners they experience GI symptoms.